take 3 glasses, you can take 2 glasses of juice. Make sure you get omega-3 and B12 supplements, only those 2 things we need to watch out. Get out in the sun for vitamin D. Vitamin D supplements are not very good. They are problematic, they are controversial. They won't tell you about it, but vitamin D supplement can lead to kidney stones. So it is best to get vitamin D in sunshine, and you don't need it every day. You get it in the summer, it will last you through the winter. Or on a Saturday, Sunday, you spend maybe 2 hours in the sun, 5 days in the week you don't take it, it doesn't matter. It's cumulative, okay? So get out in the sun. Stay active, do 10,000 steps a day. Okay, this point I will cover. We all mammals in the world, on Earth, have evolved to follow a 24-hour circadian rhythm. On average, the sun is there for 12 hours and then moon is there for 12 hours. So our body is accustomed to, for millions of years, following a circadian rhythm. Okay, every cell has that circadian rhythm. And in our hypothalamus, we have a master clock. Now, how does this master clock tune itself with the outside clock? 2 things, most important. Number 1, the blue light. When we get up in the morning, our retina has a protein called melanopsin. That protein senses blue light. So when we get up and look outside, our body knows it is daylight now. Okay? And in the night time, when the daylight goes away, body knows that it is now end of daylight. So what does body do? When the daylight is coming, body increases the cortisol hormone. Okay? All our glands work on the circadian rhythm. So it starts releasing, in fact 2 hours before sunrise, it starts releasing cortisol. Cortisol is get up and go hormone. Okay? And you become active, you get up and go and walk. In the night time, it lowers the cortisol and raises melatonin. So melatonin slows you down, makes you fall asleep. Okay. So what is happening is that we are facing 2 problems. Number 1, in the night time, we have now started watching TV, which releases blue light, or your cell phone or computer screen. And that cell light confuses the body, says, oh, it's still daytime, I'm still getting blue light, it must still be daytime. Okay, number 1. Number 2, we eat late. Our ancestors finished dinner before it was dark, because there was no light. I mean, before 10,000 years ago, or before candles came, it was only the daylight. So, you finish your kitchen work, wash all your dishes or whatever, before it got dark. Because in dark, you can't do anything. So our body is accustomed to eating before it gets dark. Now when you eat food at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, body says, no, I think it's still daytime, because the food is coming in. So it still must be the 12-hour daytime. So it gets confused. And when body circadian rhythm gets confused, all the hormones release gets confused and all the problems come. So there's an Indian doctor, Dr. Sachidananda Panda at UC San Diego. All his research is based on this subject. And he found that people, they did not change any diet at all. All they did is they started eating dinner early, and they would shut off their TV 1 hour before bedtime, or 2 hours before. In his research, they did longer. Okay. So you should consume all your food in a narrow eating window. Okay. That narrow eating window should be 8 to 10 hours. Try to get your breakfast, lunch, dinner within an 8 to 10 hour window. The smaller it is, the better it is. Okay, if you want to reverse your, of course, हमारे यहाँ साधु परमात्मा लोग, there are many people, they eat only 1 meal a day. दोपहर को 2 से 3 के बीच में they'll have 1 meal, nothing after that. Okay, it is called OMAD program, 1 meal a day, which is the ultimate of intermittent fasting. So I recommend that this is a very easy change. Once you do it, you will not feel hungry. Your dinner will be over by 6 o'clock. We start our dinner at 5:30, we finish it by 6 o'clock. And we start our morning juice at 12. and that juice 12, 12:15, then lunch, and only 2 meals a day. You will not feel hungry. It's just a matter of it takes 3 weeks to form a new habit. Once you have formed a new habit, you will be surprised, oh, how much I used to eat. I have no idea, You feel good. You feel very energetic. In my life, I had never, when I was 63, when I started it, I was always conscious about it. So I would go for a walk, but maybe, 2 miles, 3 miles, half an hour, 45-minute walk. Maximum I would do would be on a weekend, maybe 5 miles. And the day I did 5 miles, I'll come back, I'm tired now. Okay. All I want to do is sit and watch a movie, because I did 5 miles. Now I do 12, 13 miles and I don't feel it. I don't have a pain next morning or anything like that. You will experience, and there's some people who have experienced it themselves, and there's people sitting here in my group. They don't get tired. We used to go for long drive, and after 8 hours of drive, we would always say, "Chalo kahin rok ke coffee le lein, chai le lein. I wish India hota to samosa mil jate." Those kind of things. After 6 hours of drive, you get tired. I drive now for 10, 11 hours, I don't get tired. Point I'm saying is our body was not designed to say कि अभी हमारी age हो गई है, हम 70 के हो गए हैं, बूढ़े हो गए हैं. 70 is not old. There are communities around the world where 100-year people are living productive life. They're known as blue zones. Okay, Okinawa Island is one of them. So please follow this. Try to reduce your eating window. Very important. Okay, to 8 to 10 hours. I think that. Let's see the next slide. Oh, okay, so we ended it. This is my grandson. He's 10-year-old. He made that slide presentation for me.
I just want to say that whatever he has said, last year I tried it. My BP has never been lower. Actually, I'm concerned it's too low now. But everything, more energy, and I don't take any medication except B12. So I would say that the challenge is how do we change our habits? So I have this doha from Ramayana, to that Tulsidas, हानिला जीवन मरण यश अपयश विधि हाँ, और उसमें एक लाइन ऐड कर दीजिए, चाय तेल शक्कर नमक डेयरी प्रोडक्ट्स ये सब तेरे I want to just clap for his service for thousands of people around the globe are benefiting from his work. So great job, Lalit.
Please feel free to ask questions.
Just give me 1 minute. The people who are from ICC seniors, I've written down their names. I will send you all the links what he has sent me. Fork over the knife and 5 pillars and everything. So you don't ask that question, can you send? I will send it. Okay, go on.
Yeah, I need one clarification regarding the meter reading taking. We have to take 3 readings in one set. What should be the time interval between successive readings?
2 minutes enough, or 1 minute? It's not important. Yeah.
And the second one that is that normally I've seen my third reading is the lowest.
Yeah, that's the true reading. That's the one you want to record. That is your true
But
BP.
suppose the middle reading is lowest.
It doesn't matter, whichever it is. Like I said, there are many reasons for BP. There's thoughts going in our mind. Every second we are thinking, we're becoming anxious, not become anxious. So all a guideline is record the lowest reading, whether it was the first one, second one, or the third one. Okay. And it is.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, and what you heard from him works if you follow his program. I started on June 8th after a dinner with a friend of mine who first made me familiar with doctor's work. I'm a doctor myself, 50th year in training, after training.
And
I'm
Dr.
training,
Goma.
yes.
Oh, please come here. Have a microphone. In fact, I didn't know, I've never met him, but I wanted him to share his experience. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I owe you a deep gratitude for changing my life and enlightening me. I've been to the best institute in England, and that's where I trained. Then I went to Harvard, I trained there as a doctor, and you are absolutely right. One thing the doctors are not told is taught or tell the patient what causes the problem, because then the mystery flies away, you see.
Very nice. Very good.
And
Yeah, please, I want to share your
okay,
experience.
so my enlightenment came with a friend of mine Rajan Jaswa. We met for a lunch at a friend's house, and we always discuss important things. We don't, chat. And I said, "What's new?" He says, "Dinesh, have you heard about Lalit Ji's program?" I said, "I don't know, who is he?" He says, "I'll send you the 2 links you got to watch. One was your own message from the IIT meeting you had, and then second one was Fork Over Knives." I saw that movie. It was a paradigm shift for me that very night. I am a foodie. I love food. My breakfast consists of fried food, samosas, kachori, all day, and pakoras, everything you're not supposed to eat. Evening pizzas, ice cream. I used to go through a half a gallon, 1 pint of yogurt, and last thing was a pint of milk, half a pint of milk before I went to bed. And I'm a doctor, and as a doctor, as orthopedist, I was taught, you take calcium, you take milk products, your bones get stronger, and how misleading it was, I found out. So I made 3 major changes. I was a vegetarian, so it was very easy. Number 1, gave up all oil. Number 2, sugar went out that day. For the first time in my life, I didn't have that. And the third thing that went out was my milk products. Dairy product was the most important single change. I replaced it with juicing. My 2 friends showed me, I got a machine. I found it a little tedious, to be honest. So I did 2 or 3, and I said, my God, I can't go shopping one day and then whole day do this thing. So I went to Costco and looked up the Mighty Dozen, which contains 12 green vegetables. Suja makes it in San Diego, and I researched that, I looked at it, and I think that changed my life. So taking 1 juice, 8 ounces before every meal, I became a vegan that day. So number 2, intermittent fasting. And my friend said, Dinesh, don't do it piecemeal, just dive deep into it. It was so easy, because as a physician, I never used to eat during daytime, especially when I did surgery. I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so we had a long session from 7 till 7, sometimes at night. And my principle, my patients are starving, I won't have a meal during that time. So except water, I always did that in my life. So I was used to that sort of fasting. Anyway, so it was very easy. So intermittent fasting, stop those things, juice after 3, and then I always used to exercise. I used to tell my patients I always exercise since age 6. I used to walk 4 to 6 miles, and like Lalit said, sometimes I felt poofed out. And I used to get poofed out after a meal because I was on 10 medicines. My doctor had put me, every time I go and see him, last 3-4 years, I will tell him, let's get off this. My blood pressure is 100/50. Why the heck am I taking medicine? Dinesh, you could have a silent stroke, you could have that. I was too busy with my practice to even think about all these things. I retired last year, and I think you found me a new career. I'll be a, whimsical follow you up and do this. So what happened? On June 9, the day I started my program, I weighed 209 pounds. Today, this morning, I weighed 186 pounds. 23 pounds down. I used to take 3 medicines for diabetes, including 1 injection. I've stopped it last 4 weeks. My blood sugar and the chart I do, I still monitor it because I want to be careful. It doesn't go above 100. And my meal, after a meal, I used to go up to 200, 150. Now it does not go over 130. Number 2, my blood pressure hasn't changed at all. Because I was taking up medicine, I haven't seen my doctor about it. I said, I'll monitor myself, and has not gone over 120 or 71. And here I was treated with 3 medicines.
So the blood pressure is same, but medicines are gone.
All they don't have.
My blood pressure is still good, and it was good with medicine, now it is good without medicine.
And the third thing, my doctor had told me I had a metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? It contains of your whole internal body getting messed up, all the poison you put in, the milk, the fats, the sugars, and everything else. So you become obese. And the most amazing thing, I can't find a clothes to fit me. Yesterday I went to Macy's and I said, go on. I used to be 44 inches down the waist. Only a month ago, I'm down to 37 inches. Right within that. And that shows me that your abdominal fat can go away. And the last thing, I always used to walk, as I said, 10,000 steps all my life, and I encourage all my patients to do that. Now, I'm walking about 18 to 20,000 steps a day. I'm going up a hill. In fact, I'll tell you, last August, 8 months ago, I used to get a little breathless getting up the hill and short of breath, so I went to my cardiologist. I said, look, I've got a bad history of heart disease. My father died at 54, my brother at 61 had a coronary artery disease, and all my friends, they feel so rich. I've got blocks. And I said, where, in Bombay? No, on my heart. I carry them right up here. I had stents, blocks, bypass, everything. I said, I don't want to go there. So I convinced the cardiologist. He said, there is a risk. I said, there is a risk of dying and going to an emergency room on the way. I'd rather know the facts of all. So let's do an angiogram. So I had an angiogram done. And he says, Dinesh,